racing. Yeah, people in drag queens come and they can come on in. But hello, everybody. If you don't know who I am, I don't know why you're here. I'm Anne Yatco, voice actor. You might know me as the Raiden Shogun in Genshin Impact. Or Nobara Kisaki in Jujutsu Kaisen. Some of you might know me as the current voice of Sabine in Miraculous Ladybug. And like other stuff. You can look up my IMDb, it's fine. But I guess like this is just a Q&A. I mean, let me give you the little spiel about me, because I might answer some of your questions. So, let's see. I'm Filipino. Got any Filipinos in the house? Oh, Filipino! Hey! Love to see the couple guys. What's up? Yeah, no, I'm Filipino. Both my parents came from the Philippines, but you know, I was born and I grew up here in the States. We moved around a lot when I was a kid for various reasons, and then I kind of landed in Illinois, a small town in Illinois. Grew up there. I have a degree in biomedical engineering because I'm Filipino and my parents wanted me to be a doctor, so I was pre-med. Huh? No, we were going to go for a doctor. Oh, I was going to go for a doctor. I wanted to be in charge. If I was going to have to do that, I was going to be in charge, guys. I was ready to have like the messy signature. Oh, that would be my name. But no, I have a degree in biomedical engineering, but the whole time, like, I grew up on singing karaoke. I took singing lessons, piano lessons. I was on the speech team in high school. What's up? Original oratory. Yeah. You know, I love performing. So even though I was going through an engineering program and ready to be a doctor, the whole time I was at the theater. I was auditioning for plays. I was in plays, took all the acting classes, took stage craft class. I worked in the costume shop. I assisted costume designed a play that I was in. But like I loved theater and I loved acting and I loved the craft of it, all of it. And so when I was in my last year, my acting mentor told me that I should audition for grad school. And I was like, I don't know, man. I gotta go like take the MCATs or something. And she was like, no, you really should. So I took her advice and I auditioned for grad school. And I got into the California Institute of the Arts. And that's in Valencia, California. And that took me out to California. So I live in California now. But I got my MFA, which is really cool. I spent 3 years in a conservatory. I like just acted for 3 years, and that was cool. And then I was very much in debt. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, it's interesting because with a BS in biomedical engineering and an MFA in acting, somehow I'm not hireable at Target or restaurants. So I was like, okay, let's find a job that has to do with my undergraduate degree. So I actually found a job as a forensic scientist. And I was a forensic scientist for like 7.5 years, and I did accident reconstruction. So, okay, imagine that you are in your car and you are at a red light and you accidentally rear-end someone. Okay, now you get out of your cars, you exchange your insurance, you know, you go to your insurance, they'll probably like pay out for their car repairs or whatever, and then, let's say, a couple months down the line, the person that you rear-ended needs chiropractic care. And now your insurance is like, okay, well, you know, it's in your policy, we'll pay it out. And then your premium goes up. And then say another couple months goes by, and that person now says, I need back surgery. And you're like, for a fender bender? And so at this point, insurance is going to get involved and maybe hire a lawyer. And you might be facing like a lawsuit. Like this happens to a lot of people. My boss is an expert witness. So he could get hired by like lawyers or insurance companies to take a look at evidence for like car accidents, premises liability cases, so like you slip and fall at Target, and then you sue Target, that kind of stuff. He would like take a look at evidence, and by him I mean me. I would do a lot of reading, a lot of writing, I wrote a lot of reports. It was a very interesting job, but also like kind of soul-sucking. So even though I was doing that, I was acting the whole time, doing theater, improv, sketch, voiceover, everything I could do while still holding down a 9-to-5 job and paying off my student loans. So eventually I was able to flip that and quit my day job and make acting my full-time career. But that took a long time, and that was about patience and about perseverance and just trying to do good work and be a good person. Those are some of the things that kind of keep you getting rehired, you know? It shouldn't be rocket science, and yet. But, you know, a few years ago, like I got with my current agency, and then auditions for cooler things started popping up, and then eventually one day, Jujutsu Kaisen fell in my lap, and I booked it, and that's kind of been like the catalyst for a lot of really cool things, like Genshin Impact. And so I'm really, really lucky, but I also know that I put in a lot of hard work to get here. And that's my really long spiel about who I am and where I'm from. Yeah, I mean, it's like that's an easy way to like kind of like start talking. But if you guys have questions for me about stuff, you know, you can ask like voice acting questions, questions about like projects I'm in. I may not be able to answer them, but we'll see.
So this is going to start our Q&A portion of it. So if you line up behind the microphone and ask your question, once you ask your question, please return to your seats, and the next person can be ready to ask their question after that.
Yeah, let's chat. Come on up.
So my question is, do you play Genshin Impact? And if you do, what's your favorite season?
Hi, so I'm also a Twitch streamer. You can follow me at Anne Yatco on twitch.tv. I stream it. I main Raiden Shogun. I love this dream team. I believe in that. I believe in that hardcore. The two of them often feature in my in my teams. But like, let's see. I have a lot of teams. I like trying. I've been trying to try out a lot of different characters so that I'm not only playing Raiden. But I love Raiden National. I love playing around with like a Raiden. It's not exactly Hyperbloom. It's more like Bloom. That's like Raiden, Kokomi, Nahida these days was Desert Traveler, and then sometimes I'll do. Most of the time I do Kazuha as the fourth. Yeah.
My second.
Right. You know, and then with Raiden National, if I need a little more durability, I throw a Zhongli in the fourth slot.
We need that shield.
Right. But I've been trying out two new teams that I'm really excited about. Sorry, I just want to go on about my team now. So okay, one I call Stealth Mode, and it's Yelan, Shinjo, Yai, and Nahida. And that's fun. That requires me to have better skill than I have. So. And then the other team I really love is what I call Fox and Friends. And it's Yai with Al-Haytham, Kokomi, and Nahida. It's fun. I'm working on fixing up my Nahida and my Al-Haytham, and they're very, very fun.
I love that you're using Kokomi because I know people
I love
hate on
Kokomi.
her.
I love Kokomi. She keeps me alive, guys.
Kokomi's amazing, guys.
But also more, actually. What's up?
My question was actually about like voice acting.
Oh, yeah.
And actually for those three roles that you had talked about, I was wondering like, so how did you come up with different intonations for Raiden Shogun, who is older but wiser, and then you had Navarro, who's younger and more aggressive, but then you have Sabine, who, you know, it's a kid show. So how did you decide to come up with all the different intonations for those?
Sure. Okay, well, let's start with Sabine. So I was jumping into Miraculous Ladybug in the 4th season because the original actress who portrayed Sabine, her name is Felice Sampler, passed away. And so they needed a replacement actress, and they chose me because I could do a good enough voice match. And so, you know, I've been able to kind of like make it a little bit my own, but I definitely like kind of keep to the heart of what Felice did as Sabine. I play a lot of moms. I feel like I actually have really strong maternal energy, and I think it comes across. No, it's just really cool to play a character who's just the ultimate mom, you know? For Novara, she is the most like me vocally and kind of like attitude-wise. Like I identify with her a lot in her philosophies on life. She is like a role model to me. But yeah, for her, I feel like I started off with her feeling more like she started off as like kind of feeling more like she's just like a prissy know-it-all. I mean, not like exactly that, but that was kind of like the first touchstone. And then seeing like the way she interacts with these two goofballs, you know, kind of like peppering that in with like the way I hang out with my guy friends. Like a lot of me is in Nobara. You know, like just the way I speak, like it's close. I just pitch it up a little bit when I'm recording for her. And then for Raiden Shogun, you know, I knew from get-go that it was a 2 voices in 1 role, right? That was part of the audition process. And you know, I thought of a character who is regal, but is not like harsh, not necessarily harsh. I mean, Shogun is harsher than A, right? And so I started there, and then I kind of like moved the 2 and the goalposts, you know, off of that kind of center, right? So Shogun is harsher, is colder, kind of more exact, if you will. And then A is a little looser, a little warmer, but still has like that sense of regality to her. And that's kind of like where I was thinking, like, it's not, I talk about like starting with a mid-Atlantic accent, and then I kind of like backed off of it a lot. But to give it kind of a more affected way of speech than just like the way I talk, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah! Oh, I'm short. No, it's okay, so am I. Just tilt it. You can tilt the microphone.
There we go. Hi. I was wondering what your favorite NPC is from Genshin Impact. Coming from one NPC.
Huh?
Yes.
My favorite NPC is currently Ben.
That's fair.
Ben is my heart. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I actually had another question, but I was just inspired to do a new one. So this is my
Okay.
new one.
Okay.
Because you said you did speech in high school.
Yeah.
And I did it in high school, and I'm doing it in college right now. So I have to know, because original oratory is your favorite, did you have a least favorite event?
I only did original oratory and dramatic duet acting.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I would have hated doing extemporaneous speaking because you had to carry on a whole box of like.
No, see, now it's
materials.
nice. They let you just like Google things. Like you don't have to have the box anymore.
Oh,
People
I'm
just, like, use
old.
the original.
Okay. Awesome. No, I'm glad that they let you Google it now.
I did do it once in high school, but then I didn't like it. I'm never doing it again.
Fair enough. I think extemporaneous speaking is the hardest one because it is both you having to do it on the fly, but also be very researched and have stuff to back it up. Like that's asking a lot
Yeah.
in a short amount of time. Yeah. Thank you. Hello. Okay, get closer to the microphone so I can hear.
Hello. I have a question about the Raiden Shogun.
Yeah, what's up?
What is one thing that you have in common with the Raiden Shogun?
What's one thing I have in common with Raiden Shogun? Oh, easy. We both have a sweet tooth. I love dessert. I love sweets. Yes. Do you have a favorite dessert?
That's hard.
That's hard. My favorite dessert is turon. It's a Filipino dessert, right? It's basically like a sweet banana egg roll. Yeah.
I can't really pick.
That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to have a favorite. Yeah. But thank you for your question. Hi.
What are your thoughts on dating
Let's go. I have to tread carefully on this question. I believe that A and Yai have a really deep and meaningful relationship. I mean, it has to be deep and meaningful if you have been in each other's lives for that long. You know what I mean? Like there is something. They are in many ways. Well, I believe that outside of her own sister, Yai is probably the most important relationship that A has. That is the best way I can put it. But thank you.
Thank you. My question is,
Yeah.
what do you think about Nobara?
Oh, okay, that I feel at liberty to talk about. I've talked about this before. I should know Nobara. I mean, like, other ships are valid, that's fine, but, like, I think Maki and Nobara, like, are cool. And they should be better. Yeah, no problem.
Hello, Paul.
Hi.
I'm also Filipino.
Yo.
I also moved from Philippines, and I also moved to Illinois.
Oh, my
So I
goodness.
moved all the way from here. But my question is, pursuing such a practical job as a doctor and, you know, pursuing it in college and school, at what point and like how and when did you manage to kind of switch over? Because I'm going through that as well.
Yeah.
Pursuing engineering. My parents want me to pursue engineering.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of peeking into the photography industry. And I was wondering at what point did you decide and how did you kind of
For a really long time, this is just between you and me, like I had to do both at the same time. You know what I mean? I did both at the same time for a really long time. And that's probably why it took me so long to get to where I am, but I wouldn't give that up for the world because I have so much life experience. You know, and it's you have to make a decision for yourself, like where is your comfort level for, you know, kind of like taking the training wheels off the bike, if you will. You know what I mean? The other thing is that I think you should explore photography like fully, like, you know, do it while you're doing engineering. You may find that this is a career path for you. You may also just find it's a hobby, and both are totally valid. But also pay your bills.
Yeah.
But yeah, but good luck with that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's kind of fun. Thank you.
Aww. Hello.
Hi, I was wondering, how do you think the Raiden Shogun and feel about the Wanderer skirmish?
Okay. So I know that the Wanderer considers A as his mother, as his creator. He calls her mother. He literally calls her mother in a cutscene, right? I believe that A doesn't quite view him as son. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not meant to be. This is just my thought. These are my headcanons, right? I don't think it's meant to be like a put down, you know, or like an insult or anything. But you know, she created him, and he didn't fulfill the purpose that she created him for, and she did the merciful thing of not destroying him. She let him live his life. You know what I mean? I don't know, because like she has only one line about him, and it's in her like character screen, right? Where she basically was just like, I just felt like I didn't throw what it was, but to the effect of like she didn't feel like she had the right to like control him, you know? And I think that speaks volumes about how she views him. Like she doesn't necessarily hold like a motherly affection for him, but I think she has compassion for him. Will we ever see them meet in game? I don't know. Like if you ask me, like dramaturgically, if you will, I think it doesn't necessarily serve the Wanderer's story dramaturgically to have him have to go backwards to revisit that when he did so much growing in his, you know, in his, it's not really a story, but yeah, in his story, yeah. Yeah. That's not to say that it won't happen, but maybe in the future. It might need more time. Yeah, that's just my thought. It's a very complicated thing. But thank you.
Hi, I wanted to know if there are any characters you wish you could have voice acted but never got the chance to.
Oh, I mean, sure. Look, I will say this, like, there are, like, character archetypes and, like, types of characters that I want to be able to do someday. I've always talked about this, like, my dream is to voice a Disney princess. So if someday I get the chance to voice a Disney princess, I would be able to die happy. But I also, like, I want to voice more villainous types. Like, A is somewhat of a villain, but even she is, like, complicated and is no longer a villain, per se. But yeah, more villains would be fun, too.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hello. How are you?
Good. So I was wondering, what is your favorite voice line from Raiden Shogun or Raiden May?
My favorite voice line from Raiden Shogun? It's, who? Because it's so succinct, so short, and so savage.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
It's a fun one, right? Thank you.
I was just wondering what your favorite like cutscene you've ever filmed, like voice acted for Raiden Shogun. Like what was the like, oh my god, this like conversation or like this cutscene is like the best thing like ever. Like what was
Well, I mean the first one.
Oh yeah,
That first one is so iconic. She's like coming, like stepping down on literal air.
Yeah.
And then pulls a sword out. And I was like, this this woman is like badass.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, I get to be that? I get to play that? Oh, I'm so lucky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. What is your favorite dish to cook in Genshin Impact?
My favorite dish to cook in Genshin Impact? it's sweet banana because it's so easy. I'm lazy, you guys. But what I will do though is like whenever like you want to do like your 20 dishes weekly for the battle pass, I'll just like scroll through and see like what I haven't like fully learned, quote unquote, and what I have enough ingredients for. And I never have enough fish. Right? Who wants to go through? No, nobody wants to fish. I fished enough. I have an artifact to catch. I'm done. Yeah, you're welcome. Hello.
So basically, what was your favorite scene to voice act Novara?
Oh, my favorite scene. There are so many. She has so many great scenes.
Like, if you had like a top one absolute favorite.
Top one absolute favorite. It is the scene when she's fighting Momo. That speech she gives when she's fighting Momo is iconic. I would put that on my gravestone.
Yeah, that was definitely a good scene.
Right?
Filmed it right there.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, so I actually had a different question earlier and then I decided to ask this one. I was wondering, would you say that you ever regret getting your biomed
engineering?
Your
No.
bioengineering degree?
No, I don't regret it.
Right now I'm in college and I kind of just chose a major that I feel like I'd be able to go through, but like I'm not interested in doing a lot of things, so I'm like worried like if in the future I figure something else out.
It's a scary, honestly, it's a scary thing being, what, you're 18, 19, however old you are, I'm trying to like, age you out. But like, being young, being in college and thinking that this decision that you make, your major, dictates the rest of your life. I will tell you that you might be making an expensive choice that you end up not doing anything with, but it's not the end of the world if you finish your major and decide that that's not exactly what you want to do. I will also say it's not necessarily too late to change your mind and switch majors if you also, find something else that sparks your interest. But a lot of people get really afraid that this is your only shot, and it's not. It's not. You're gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. So my question was, aside from the Shogun and A, who's your favorite character in Genshin?
Oh, it's Zhongli. Yeah. No, I love that old man. I think he's awesome. I think he's beautiful. I think he is powerful. Hi, yeah.
So my question is, did you start playing Genshin before or after you became a voice actor?
Both. So I actually played it for maybe 3 weeks.
Before you became a voice actor?
No, for like 3 weeks, like roughly around the month or two after it came out. I was just trying it out because my cousin was like, oh, this game is cool, it looks like Breath of the Wild. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I played it, it was fun, and I got, I don't know, 20 something. And I was like, I think I'm playing it too much. And then I was like, I don't understand this artifact thing, and I really don't understand the wish system. Because up until Genshin, I was only ever free to play on any type of like mobile games. And so I was just like, I need to focus on work. I'm gonna put this one away. Maybe I'll come back to it someday. And I did, after I booked the role. But I started picking it up again after I booked Trying to Shogun, and I was like, okay, I think I can figure out how to play this game. And then and now I really love it. And I really like have gotten into it, and I feel like I have a much better understanding of its mechanics.
Also, there is one more question. Have you met like the other archive voice actors?
I have, yeah. I've met Erica and Keith, and I've met Kimberly as well. They're lovely. Yeah. Thank you. Hi. Okay, we get a little assistant.
I got you.
Appreciate it. Oh yeah, you have to take my
position because I'm lazy.
There you go. Hello.
Hi. So I have two questions
Yeah.
for you. The first one is, so you said that you did theater and different shows before you. And on your journey, what were some of the roles that you played?
Okay, let's see. I played both in high school and in undergrad. I played Rosie in Bye Bye Birdie. Let's see, what other plays have I done? I was Doreen in Tartuffe, which is one of my favorite roles because she's also sassy. Sassy is a very good archetype for me. But yeah, I love Doreen. I got to do this really cool play in LA called Bloodletting, and it's written by a Filipino playwright. His name is Boni Alvarez. He's so talented and like prolific, and he writes these really cool stories about Filipinos that like don't feel like we're just doing a show just about Filipinos. You know, he did this show called Bloodletting, where I played this young girl who it turns out is an aswang, which is a Filipino supernatural. Yeah, man, they're kind of like vampires, but also kind of like other things. You look it up on Wikipedia. It's complicated. But it was a really, really cool show, and we got to perform it at the Kirk Douglas Theater in LA, which is like a pretty big theater in LA. LA doesn't have a lot of union houses, union theaters, and Kirk Douglas is one of like the bigger ones, and it was really cool to like get to perform on that big of a stage as like as a Filipino doing a Filipino accent, doing a play about Filipinos. It was very cool. Yeah.
So my second question kind of follows that up, and so to make a very long story short, I'm on a similar path. I'm a therapist actually, but I want to get it back into acting. I'm doing a lot of community theater shows and trying to make my 2020 goal something to do that. But would it be a good place to start with like a demo reel, or where would you recommend kind of starting?
For voiceover specifically?
Yes.
Start with classes. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you have acting training, like get back into that. I would suggest, there are a lot of studios around the country, LA, even Dallas, like New York, even the Bay Area, who do specialize in classes that are tailored to voiceover. Kind of just to like get your feet wet and like really like see, now that you have acting training, how do you apply it to specifically, your voice, and then work on a demo. I think having all of that information before you jump into demo is important, just because I don't want you to waste your money on a demo that you're not happy with later.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Good luck.
I came back because I have a question.
Sure.
If you were yourself in Genshin, what would your vision, weapon, and like role on a team be?
Yay. Me, myself. I mean, I really love the electro element, so that's the one I would want. What weapon? I might be an archer. Because I'm a coward and I like being far away. So I might be an archer, and then my role probably support. Yeah.
That makes sense. I like it.
Thank you.
Oh, hello. My question was, what are like some other voice actors that you would love to work with in the future for like any future projects?
Oh my God, there's like, do we have time? How long? Yes. Like 25 minutes. No, I'm just so thankful that I get to work with such really cool actors. I mean, in the way that like you work with another voice actor, most of this is done by ourselves in a room apart from other actors. But being associated with other actors or working with them on the same project is so cool. Look, there's so many answers. I would love to work with like Matt Mercer would be like a dream, like Kristen Freeman, like those guys. I came into the Bleach fans super late, as in like this past year, and I got the opportunity to be in Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War. I played Bambietta and Meninas, two of the stringers, and that is like a dream come true, because like I'm on a show with like Michelle Elf and like John Bosch, and like wait, what? Like that's cool. But yeah, no, like the list is actually very long, and my brain cannot seem to comprehend the names that I should be saying right now. But just know that like there are so many people I would love to work with, and I am very grateful whenever I get the chance to work with someone that I really admire.
Uh, so in Genshin Impact,
yeah.
What was the luckiest thing that ever happened to you? Whether it's from artifact drops or wishes, getting to 5 stars in a temple.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did get 2 Rikens in 1 temple.
Wow.
But I also lost a lot of 50-50s because she's 6. It was painful, you guys. That one double Raiden like made up for several lost 50-50s. But one of my luckiest moments was getting double Yelan in a single temple. Yeah, like I think she took me to like a fair pity, but like I got to see one Yelan, and she's great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Hi again.
Okay, so my question is like, if you could choose 1 to 2 characters from each element, who would you pick?
So who are my favorite characters from each element?
Shoot.
Okay, well obviously Raiden and Yae for Electro. Sorry everyone else. Okay, for Geo, it's probably Zhongli and Ito. He's so stupid, I love him. Let's see. Okay, Hydro is Xingzhou, and probably Kokomi, but also Yeon. Cryo, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Okay. It pains me to say this, but it's probably Ayaka and Ganyu. Dendro is Nahida and Alhaitham. Pyro is it's Bennett and Shackling. What else am I missing? Animo? This is hard because the Wanderer, but also Kazuha, but also Venti. So I like all the characters. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm also trying to get into voice acting. It's kind of been on and off due to motivation and I guess lack of presence on social media, so it's been a little tough. But what would you say has helped you motivate you to persevere and keep going, considering how long you've been doing this?
Motivation is tough. That's tough, right? For me, because I was doing a lot of things at once, like I could put my focus into other things when in the leaner times as far as voiceover work. So I guess my advice to you would be enjoy your life, enjoy doing other things, because all the other stuff that you do, you have hobbies, the time you spend with your friends, the activities you do, if you go like on vacations, that kind of stuff, like all of those life experiences enrich you as an actor, right? And that will only make your voice acting stronger.
Working on that.
And also help you take your mind off of the lead times,
No, sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck. Okay.
Hi. So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So on the weekends, I work as a party princess.
Oh.
Yeah. And I have trouble presenting my character in terms of voice. And I was wondering if there are any suggestions so that can help me change.
Which princesses do you usually?
I usually do any of the Disney princesses and
The Disney princesses?
Yeah.
I mean, listen. Are you musical by nature? Do you play an instrument or
no?
Like musicality is really helpful in terms of just like being able to place pitch and match pitch. If you can think of it like that, because even just a lot of the modern Disney princesses are honestly they're very naturally sounding, especially like Rapunzel, Elsa, Anna. I mean, even as far as like Mulan, and a lot of them are kind of just like your own natural speaking voice. So you're really just thinking about like what's the attitude of the character, You know what I mean? If you're thinking about like Snow White, oh yeah, Snow White is, she's up here and she's very friendly. But like, you can just play around. Like, you have to have fun playing around finding those voices for yourself. And more importantly, just think about like, who is this person? Like, what is she about? You know, and that'll come through when you're talking to the kids. Honestly, at the end of the day, those kids, they're just so happy to see someone dressed up like their favorite Disney princess. I wouldn't beat yourself up about it at all.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Hi.
With like in-person actors, I know they tend to gravitate to big cities. So do voice actors tend to go to a certain geographical area, or is it more like a work from home?
Well, with the pandemic, I mean even before, but like especially with the pandemic, we're seeing a lot more voice actors who can record from their home, like with good broadcast quality, right? I mean, like even I had to build out my own studio, but I will say that a large percentage of voice actors live in LA or like Texas, like Dallas, or New York. They're bigger hubs. There's more studios out there. Some studios are trying to go back to like only in-person stuff, but a lot of studios are still open to recording remotely, and that's really then just about you doing your own self-promotion, reaching out, trying to like get seen by them so that you're on their radar. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey again.
Hello. My question is, what is your favorite voice lines from each one of your characters that are like almost not in character, like frightened voice lines?
Wait, I don't understand your question.
Like there's voice lines of certain characters that like seem almost out of character but are still in character. Like my example for this is like Kazuha's I couldn't even finish my IQ line.
I'm trying to think. Are there any ride lines that feel kind of like out of pocket? You know, that's basically what you're asking. Yeah.
This is any of your characters.
Honestly, Boo probably is, and that's probably why it's a favorite. But I mean, to be fair, like that's a Shogun line, right? That's not an A line. Yeah, it's a Shogun line. So that also like feels right. But maybe I don't know. It's hard for me to say because like at this point, like everything is kind of like baked into her. So I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, or like the don't try to get me to cook line. Poor Raiden. That's fine. Yeah, she's got people to do that for her. She's the leader of a nation. She's busy. Thank you.
Hi again.
Hi again. What's up?
So my question is, what is your favorite animal, including the wild animals of Genshin Impact, and the characters who are the mix of animals too, including like Yai?
Oh. Okay, my favorite animal in Genshin Impact. Oh man. Ooh. Well, I mean, like, I've got a soft spot for all the characters, all the playables who have ears. I mean, Yai in particular, but also Zoro. Love a good boy. Love a good boy. As far as like other animals, there's this one weasel that you can find in the chasm. It's like, I think it's like the blue thunder weasel. It's like the coolest looking one. I captured one and put it in my teapot. Thank you. Hi.
Hello. I guess my question is about getting into voiceover acting in general. Do you think there's a time where you're just like you're just too old to actually get in the industry? Because I always like hear these people, because I'm in my 30s and I hear all these people like,
I'm in my late 30s.
And I'm just like,
I'm in my late 30s, and I have only been in like the quote-unquote public spotlight about voice acting since, for like what? Not even 3 years, 2.5 years. So I mean, like, I was in my late 30s when I hit it, but I was, working pretty steadily.
Like when I was 21, I was just like, I have a job, and that is it.
No, totally.
And I'm playing. It's like I'm still a teenager.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, like,
it's not too late if you more passionate about it, get started. Like, you know, take classes, meet people, like,
I've
try to
taken
make those
classes here and
connections.
there, but I haven't like taken any like steps beyond classes that I have. I have taken some classes, but beyond that, like I'm not quite sure what to do and thinking like, you know, you're looking for that fresh detail, like, but that hurts also.
Okay, we may not be as fresh as we have been before, but that does not discount. Age is not a factor. You use all that is of you, whether, you know, including your age, you know what I mean? And the thing about voice acting is you can sound younger, you can sound older, it doesn't matter as long as the acting is there. Yeah. So, you got this.
Hi, Anne. So, do you have any particular favorite character or series that you would like to see in Genshin, either gameplay or story-wise?
Wait, say that again?
Is there a character or a series that you would like to see in the Genshin universe, either gameplay or story-wise?
Oh, like if I could put Nobara, Kugisaki, and Genshin Impact?
If you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, you got Aloy. They put Aloy in Genshin Impact. Sure. She could be a Catalyst user. Yeah, let's call it a Catalyst user.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hello.
Hello.
So we're pretty much like in the era of like virtual YouTubers and personalities.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what if like if A becomes one, like what kind of like content does she like?
Oh, if A was a VTuber? Okay, yeah. If A was a VTuber, her content, she would just review, like, sweets. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe some mix of how to basic.
Yeah. It'd be super cute. I'd watch it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hello.
Just general question about voice acting.
Yeah.
So when you're recording lines, I know, you might be in your home, someone else might be in their home or another studio. If you're having like a conversation with someone, like, are you alternating lines, or do you record all your lines at one time and then they record theirs? Or?
Yeah, it's usually that. There are some cases where you would have people recording at the same time, and that's usually in the type of in like a relay show, so like Western animation, basically, and shows where we're putting forth the original dialogue.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But for like anime and even video game, and even for video games, just because like there's so many actors and so many lines and so many different things, most of the time we're recording separately and not in context with any other actor.
Does that make it tough to?
It can be difficult. It can be challenging. So for example, on Jujutsu Kaisen, right? When I jumped in, Nobara comes in at the end of episode 2, and then she's like the main part of episode 3, right? At that point, I was the first main cast member recording those episodes, probably between the end of 2 through maybe about 5 or 6. Just because Adam and Keiji and Robbie were all still working on 1 and 2. Do you know what I mean? And so I was like leapfrogging ahead because they had material for me. And so for a long time, I was the first one recording in all these scenes, so like I didn't get to hear any of them. I was only hearing the Japanese, which I mean is good, like that's what we're basing everything off of. But then by like mid-series, just the way scheduling worked out, all of a sudden I could hear the other actors, and I was like, oh, thank God, it feels nice to be able to hear them and play off of it. But I guess that just meant that they had me to work off of, which, cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hi.
So I have a strange request.
Oh.
Instead of a question.
Okay.
Can you tell a silly story?
Can I tell a silly story?
It can be a real story, it can be a lie, nobody's saying
Okay. So when I was in college, we used to hold these like black light highlighter parties, right? And I remember very vividly, we had a black light highlighter party, and it was like, this is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So it's very cold, and it was in the middle of winter, and it was snowy, and it was all kinds of things. But I remember, like, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, and we were finishing a party, I'm sorry, if you are underage, please don't drink underage. Maybe this is the wrong story to tell, but like we were like walking down like Wisconsin Avenue, and I was just like, oh no, what a mistake. And I like rush off to the side of the sidewalk, and I like vomit into the snow, and it came out like neon yellow, and I was like, oh, it's like a highlighter. Yeah, that's my story. Yeah.
So, you remember how Nobara basically said that she plays Super Smash Bros., right?
Yeah.
Who would you think she would main? Like, what character do you think she would main?
This is where I have to admit that I don't play Smash. I'm sorry. I think someone once told me they thought she'd be like Captain Falcon, but
I was thinking just anyone with a meteor smash in general, like anyone who can spike. So I was thinking like either like Mario, Zero's with Samus possibly. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool if she played Samus. I would support that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strong women like strong women. We've got like just a couple minutes. If anyone has any last questions, like maybe like one or two. If not, we can all go eat. Oh, okay.
Tell a story for 2 minutes.
Tell a story for
2 minutes.
No, you have someone behind you.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, I'll do the last thing as a story. Yes,
Oh.
no, I'll do the story last.
Oh,
Can you show off your cardigan?
Oh yeah. So it's got little plush feet. Yeah.
Looks very nice.
Thank you.
Will you trade it for whatever's in this bag? Big no?
No. But what is in the bag?
It's 2 card games. With ramen.
But no, I love my mushroom cardigan. Sorry.
Hello, this is more of a request than a question,
Okay.
but can you do one of Raiden's burst lines?
Okay. Yeah. Inazuma shines eternal.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Do you want?
So basically, tell this story, but do it in Nobara's voice.
But like that's basically my voice.
Raiden's voice.
Oh, that I can't do. For sure I can't do. Sorry. Hoyo versus rules, man. But I'll tell a story. And because I'm telling it in my voice, it's basically Nobara's voice. Let's see, what's a fun story? Let me tell you about how I met my husband. I like talking about my husband. So my husband, his name is Zach, and we met at a cowboy bar in Los Angeles, of all places. But it was like a friend's birthday, and like we both knew her, but we didn't know each other. Then he showed up, and he was like the only person like anyone didn't know at the table, because like he only knew the birthday girl. And so we were like, who is this guy? And he's like in a black t-shirt and jeans and like a cowboy hat. And I was like, how does this girl know a cowboy? It turns out that he like had worked in Nashville on like an award show. He was like a deck. And so he had, on a lark, bought cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. He was like, yeah, why not? And I realized, he's cosplaying as a cowboy. And I was like, okay, bet. He's still on my phone today as cowboy for Mitch's birthday. but my husband is like a huge nerd. He's the one who kind of got me back into like watching anime like more regularly. So you can thank him. But he's awesome. He's the best person in the whole wide world. And yes, he does cosplay as a cowboy. Yeah, I think we should maybe call it. Oh, I got like the 5-minute warning. Bye, guys. I mean, seems like you all
Okay,
feel.
thanks for coming, everyone. If you'd like to see her, she's going to be downstairs from 2:30 onwards in the vendors hall doing autographs and doing all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for coming.
You guys are so